we control you, tell you that because you're a bossy slave, you're a press button. Because all the successful societies of the world are socialist. Don't block him. Don't block him. Make we educate him. All the Eastern European countries, the Scandinavian countries that are basically the best places on earth to live are socialist countries. Let us talk about Denmark. Let us talk about Sweden. Let's talk about Norway. Let us talk about Switzerland. All socialist countries. So what are you talking about? America is the biggest capitalist country right now, and it is a failing economy. It is a declining superpower because capitalism in its truest form will always forget the people who need the most help. So come back to educate you. Come right here so and learn. You will learn something today. So when he says socialism doesn't work, let us talk about the most successful countries in the world. Let us talk about the most successful countries in the world and what they are classified as. They are all democratic socialist countries. So your propaganda that socialism doesn't work is for the idiots of the Labour Party. Because they trickle down foolishness to you. The biggest economy in the world has to be the US and China is a communist country. And China will soon be the superpower in case you don't realize. Because US is a declining economy. In case you don't realize that it is projected that in the next 20 years, China will overtake the US as the #1 economy in the world. So let me take you to school and educate you about socialism as a democratic socialist myself. Because you have to invest in your people. Every day your prime minister come out and preach about Singapore this and Singapore that. What kind of economy does Singapore have? What do you think free education and free healthcare is? Those are democratic socialist policies. Sit and be educated. Creating social safety nets for the most vulnerable in society. Protecting the people. Talk to me. About socialism doesn't work. When you have the most wealthy in the society controlling all the money,
and anyone who takes that the wrong way know why they take it the wrong way.
How does that work when your hospitals are being destroyed? The GDP is not enough to support a high tax base. What are you talking about, a high tax base? What you think is happening now? It looked like you came to class late today. Sit down and let us talk. What do you think SCT is? You are being taxed out of your drawers right now and you don't even realize because your government convinced you that you're not paying taxes. It is called indirect taxation. Remember the hedge tax that was supposed to cushion the price of gas? Sit down and listen because we're going to educate you. The SCT that you are paying on gas, that we collectively pay, because gas run everything, you know. Remember that fuel run everything. So when you are paying that SCT, all of us pay it. Because JPS need gas to run. So you're paying for the SCT in your light bill. Manufacturers need electricity. The transportation of goods and services need gas. So everything you do, every dollar you spend, when you buy your food, everything that is produced, the price is cost to you. That is the taxation. That is where the SCT is. So you are getting a low price. That is indirect taxation. So come let me talk to you. You think you're not being taxed, but that is a fallacy. Come and learn. We're here to teach you. We're going to tell you, we're going to show you that socialists are no fool. And the worst part about it is the hedge tax was created to cushion the economy against the rapid rise and fall of the gas prices. The JLP never at any point used it for that. And we ended up suffering because of the fluctuations of the gas price. Where every minute prices rise. So talk to me now. What are you talking? We are being taxed out of our wits' end. But they tell you that you're not being taxed. Because you will listen to them because they have failed you with educating you. I am a child of the 70s. I still benefited from Michael Manley's policies. So I was still educated enough to understand the con that you are not able to understand. Thank you, Machiavelli. You cannot see the con, but I can see it. A while ago, we played a video from the light bill is going to continue to raise because you're paying the SCT in the light bill, the special consumption tax on fuel. JPS has to pay that. So it is going to reflect in the light bill. You are paid every time you go to the pumps and fill up your tank. You are paying SCT. It is built into the cost. When you have to transport goods and services, all the people them will manufacture will have to pay to transport things. It is in the gas. You are going to pay it. Big Sky. That is one type of taxation. That is called direct taxation. You have two different types of taxation. You have direct taxation and indirect taxation. The only difference between the two is that you see one coming out and the other one is coming out on the consumption end. We are paying taxes up to our eyeball, but because it's not the consumption end. We are not seeing it. And who suffers the most? The most vulnerable in the society. Because let me tell you something. Yes, exactly, Machiavelli. They bullied us not to take oil from Venezuela. And Andrew suck it up. The most vulnerable in the society are the ones affected mostly by indirect taxation. This is why I know that this government don't care about the ordinary Jamaicans. And this is why we have so many working poor. Andrew Holness all over the place talking about 3% unemployment rate when he knows that even people who are employed for 1 hour per week are counted as employed. Those are the people who are suffering the most. Because if you make $500,000 a month and you are paying for the same kinds of goods and services as the person who make $100,000 a month, the burden will be greatest on the person who is earning $100,000 a month. Because a greater percentage of their salary is paying taxes as compared to yours. And this is why there was a need for direct taxation. So when you quarrel about direct taxation, just know that direct taxation is a social safety net so that the least vulnerable in the society don't have to pay as much tax as a percentage of their salaries. Talk to me. Go good school. Talk to me. So when you have indirect taxation, a person who is earning 5 times what another person is earning is paying the same. The Jamaican government cannot go bankrupt if they manage the society and stop stealing the money. The reason why they will go bankrupt is because they are stealing the money. And one by one, they will be going to jail. One by one, they'll be going to jail. One by one, they'll be going to jail. Socialists are no fool. Hello. We already borrowed. What you need to do is ask, where is the money that we borrowed? Ask, where is the money that we borrowed, because we done borrow already. And you're talking about freeness. Who is supposed to, what is the role of the government in a society, if not to provide for its citizens? I can see that you have been brainwashed. Like Pavlov and the theory with the dogs. They tell you what they want you to spit out, but you don't really understand what is going on. What is freeness? What is the role of a government of a country if not to provide health, education, and national security? The very least. How can you have a society that cannot educate its own citizens? And you're talking about freeness. What is the role of a government if not to look out for its people? May as well we never have no government then. And this is why they keep civics out of school. So people like you, Big Sky, don't know better. But me did do civics. Because when me did I go school, civics was still in the curriculum. Do you know that somebody came on my platform today, comrades, and started an argument that Andrew Holness is not responsible for paying the firefighters? And when I asked, well, who is the person, told me it's the Governor General. I kid you not. The person said it was the Governor General. This is the kind of illiteracy we have to be dealing with in the Jamaican society. Because we have lost an entire generation. I am dead ass serious. As serious as a judge. You can look on my page when we're done going live, and you will see that I actually responded with a video with Peter Touch song, Oh Bumbleclat, Oh Rasclat. That song, because I cannot believe in 2025, this is basic governance. And somebody believes that the Governor General of Jamaica is anything but ceremonial. We have to reintroduce civics to the curriculum. We have to I hear the government say they're reintroducing reading to the curriculum. When they realize, after 9 years of them being in power, that the literacy rate is all the way down to 65%. None of us were told that reading was removed from the curriculum. What the hell the picnic them go school for? If you take reading out of the curriculum, oh, that makes sense. Let me tell you something. You, as a labor right, no labor right administration can take credit for the work of the PNP in reducing the debt. Because if it wasn't for the PNP making it law, you think JP had a choice but to reduce the debt? They didn't have a choice because it is now the law of the land. Law passed by the PNP administration. The government is legally bound to reducing the debt ratio. They didn't have a choice. It was done because the PNP passed law in 2014 that the government is legally bound to reduce the debt to GDP ratio to 60% by 2027. They don't have a choice. So don't ever take credit for it, because the last JP administration failed 10 IMF tests consecutively. And this is why the PNP made it in law that they have to stick to the conditionalities of the JP. Sit and let me educate you. Sit and let me educate you and tell you exactly how it go, because comrade are no fool. We know exactly what happened. Audley Shaw in 2010 took a standby agreement with the IMF and failed every single IMF test. Every single one, 11 of them, and abandoned the IMF. And when the Jamaican economy was on the brink of collapse, the JP government was voted out in 2011. Yes, Audley Shaw. Audley Shaw was the Minister of Finance between 2007 and 2011. That's why they call him man a yard, in case you don't know. Because I realize a lot of you young laborites really don't know what was happening. Well, let me tell you what Manayard said in 2008. I'm not putting him in the box. I'm going to sit right here and he's going to listen and learn. Because I realize that the JLP take these kids for Menke. They don't tell them the truth. So they come with all of this foolishness. When all you have to do is read it. Audley Manayard Shaw, when Bruce Golding became the Prime Minister in 2007, Audley Shaw was the Minister of Finance and Planning. And Audley Shaw, when he was on the campaign trail, made all sorts of promises to the what you call them, the civil servants. Till the nursing president Edith Allwood Anderson died with that man up in her heart because he promised nurses 100% salary increase and gave them 3%.
Help.
We need
your divine intervention.
And
We're
when
tired of the labor right.
Audley Shaw took office as Minister of Finance and Planning, Audley Shaw closed down Cash Plus and Olint and Worldwise. After on the campaign trail, Audley Shaw tell people that he will regulate the alternative financial institutions. And there was a run on these financial institutions. And many Jamaican people put their money in these financial institutions that Audley Shaw said. There is a place in Jamaica, St. Thomas Mass Meeting, 2007. There is a place in Jamaica for alternative investment schemes, and the next JLP government will regulate them. And 2 months after the JLP became the government, because the Jamaican people believed in him, the JLP shut them down. Them shut down every last one of them. Not before
Embarrassing.
Getting money.
He needs some milk.
Not before Audley Shaw getting money though, and the whole of them take them money and then shut it down with the rest of the money. Because me did have money in there too.
Help.
And that was part of the beginning of the end for the Jamaican economy right at the start. And then came the global financial meltdown that they like to blame for why they didn't do well. Because every time you ask them about what happened in 2007 to 2011, they blame the global financial crisis, why they tanked the economy. Because we used to watch, and listen to me carefully, we used to watch CNN and BBC every day and hear how the Jamaican economy is collapsing. Two economies them used to talk about, Greece and Jamaica. We named it Gone Abroad. Oh, we economy tanking. All over the world, we shame. Because we hear so we're on the brink of collapse in the international news. And everybody waiting to see what will happen with Jamaica. Sit and learn. Come to class. Make me teach you. Oh, we're lying. You don't like to hear the truth. You don't like to hear the truth. In 2010, the two economies that were collapsing were Jamaica and Greece. Don't mute them. Make them stay and learn, because this is a shock to them. Because the JLP doesn't tell them the truth. Audley Shaw failed 11 IMF tests consecutively after going to the IMF. And the reason why he went to IMF is because he refused to listen to his own technocrats.
Embarrassing.
Right?
He needs some milk.
Was one of these technocrats who told him that he needed to prepare for the collapse, the global financial meltdown. And he said, no, we can't take any external shock. Those were his exact words. Remember, so I never ever know that Audley Shaw was Minister of Finance, you know, between 2007 and 2011, you know, so I won't tell me his lie. Me know say me I don't look the same age, but I am 46 years old. I was 26 when it happened. Not even so, yes, 26. I had my second child already, married with children. I was working as a pharmaceutical rep. We call it drug rep. Them is baby, them don't know nothing. And they want to come here and tell me who was already working. Very successful. Big up Sandra Ellis, because she called me today and said she watched me every night. That was my, yes, I'm med rep. I was a med rep and my boss was Sandra Ellis. She called me right before me go live today. I was working with an American company named Sharing Plow based at Carimed. I wasn't a child. I was a big married woman with Pitney. 2 kids. When Audley Shaw collapsed our economy and my company pull out of Jamaica and leave with jobless because them say our economy collapsing. Because them can't pay the bills. Come let me talk to you and tell you the things then. And when the global financial crisis occurred and Jamaica's economy tanked, Audley Shaw said we have no choice but to go to the IMF. And after PJ Patterson told the IMF Tata in the 1990s, Audley Shaw took us back to the IMF. That is how the IMF reached back in Jamaica. Ricky, where you know me from? That is how IMF got back here in 2010. And after the man go take IMF money, the man failed every single, what them call it, the conditionality. He did not pass any test. We call it IMF test, them call it conditionality. Yes, he failed everyone, 11 of them, consecutively. And then turned his back on the agreement. And if you piss off IMF, you can't go to nobody else. You cannot go to World Bank. You can't go to nobody else. And the World Economic Banks turn them back on we. Audley Shaw was JLP, still is. He is the MP for North East Manchester. Audrey Marks is about to take over from him. Audley Shaw challenged Andrew Holness for the leader of the JLP in 2013. Thank you, Amelia. It took Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller to use her international contacts to get the IMF after she became the Prime Minister in 2012. Because the election remember, Bruce Golding had to step down, Bruce Golding had to step down because of the Manat Phelps Dudus affair in 2010. And he appointed Andrew Holness. When he made his national broadcast, all of us were looking at him and shaking his head. Because he took democracy out of JLP by basically saying on the national broadcast that Andrew Holness is the person who is supposed to succeed him. And the Labour right them did vex. The Labour right them were very upset about it. They call him Manayard. That's what they call Audley Shaw. And so, because Bruce Golding basically appointed Andrew Holness as the leader, Andrew Holness was not, there wasn't a leadership contest. There was not a leadership contest for the JLP. And Bruce Golding stepped down and Andrew Holness took over and called an election and lost. Because him say, we're going to have to take bitter medicine. He said we have to take bitter medicine. So when he called the election, Portia wiped him out. Because the people never want no eucalyptus. Because Andrew Holness go on the stage, gonna listen to me, and tell the people how him granny used to give him eucalyptus oil. And the people them laugh after him because we know say you rub up yourself with eucalyptus oil, you don't drink it. Because it is an abrasive substance. So we knew Andrew Holness was a liar from day one. Because him say him granny give him eucalyptus oil to drink and it was bitter medicine. Anybody who grow with them granny knows say you take eucalyptus oil and rub it by your stomach because it minty. Exactly, it is the main ingredient in Vicks. So it's a decongestant. You don't drink it, you rub it up and you put it in the hot water and cover your head and inhale it. So we didn't know from day one that Andrew was a liar. Come listen to me, make we talk. Anybody who they grow with them granny know say is like right, Lady Andrea. We steam, we face with eucalyptus oil. So they never vote for Andrew. And then when Portia became the prime minister, she had to go and seek out the Black Caucus, the Democratic Black Caucus, to help them to mediate with the IMF because IMF turned their back on us. IMF would not give us an audience for one straight year. We had to use intermediaries. It was Portia Simpson Miller who went to Maxine Walters and Yvette and Una Clark and members of the Congressional Black Caucus who intervened on our behalf and got us to the table with the IMF. And when we went to the table with the IMF said we could not get another standby agreement. We had to get an extended fund facility, which was a more stringent, it was a more stringent program. Right, you put it in the mole, you rub up your chest and you put it under here and you don't drink eucalyptus. So we know from day one, say, and July. That is right, article 7.5% of the GDP. And it took Dr. Peter Phillips to stabilize the economy. I know you have them drunker here and try to take credit fees. Like them do nothing. Them never do nothing. Because the PNP, through Portia Simpson Miller and Dr. Peter Phillips, stabilized the economy. All they are doing is benefiting from PNP work and have the audacity to talk about them do it better. You never had a choice because we put it in law so you couldn't change it. The PNP made it law. Nigel Clark didn't do anything spectacular because it was PNP passed the law, said the GDP, the debt to GDP ratio have to come right down by 2027 to 60%. So them never have to do nothing. Everything was already prescribed and laid out. All them have to do is tick off as we go down. And now they want to take the credit for PNP's hard work. This is why they don't want me to talk. Because them know so them can't fool me because me remember everything. Because I live through it. I live through Edward Seaga. So them can't tell me about anything with Edward Seaga. I live through the 18 years where them claims that PNP never do nothing. Where we were all thriving and doing well. Where them talk about the 18 missing years. When all of them make money, all of them became millionaires under PJ Patterson. And have the audacity to talk about 18 missing years after PJ made them rich. And that one me the most, you know. They all became wealthy during those 18 years because PJ Patterson was able to stabilize the economy with Omar Davis. Even though Omar never perfect, but he did a damn good job of rescuing the economy, even with FinSac. And they tried to tie everybody into FinSac, not understanding that some of us knew that the problem of FinSac was created by Edward Seaga. They are reaping what they didn't sow. And have the audacity to fool the little stupid labor right them. That's why I'm glad them watching. Come telling me about his lie. Oh, you must tell me he says lie when I live through it. Try and remember that you were not a thought, much less a conception, because your father still couldn't piss straight. I tell you no all the time. A lot of you little young labor rights running up and down and acting like when absence need to remember, say if it wasn't for Michael Manley, when the parents wouldn't get an education and get a good job and put on a true school. No running up and down about Andrew this and bro God that. And after on would in the cane field, a cut cane, sugar cane. If it wasn't for the PNP and Michael Manley. Talking about, oh, PNP is freeness and PNP want to give freeness. But the parents benefit from the freeness. That is what changed the trajectory of your life. If it wasn't for Manley, half on the barn and the parents don't marry. If it wasn't for Michael Manley, Uno wouldn't even get acknowledged as a father Pitney. Because the same labor rights that Uno worship was calling on a bastard Pitney. But this truth is too much for you to manage. When you can't handle the truth, so every day you come, vote JLP like a cheerleader. Because this truth, you can't handle the truth. You can't process this information. Because they never educated you enough to process this education, this information. You graduate without any subject. You graduate unable to reason. Them stop teaching the mental ability. Them stop teaching you know how to reason. Them stop teaching you know reading. That is because this is now why we're telling you so you know that you are becoming dumber and dumber. You can't even analyze the numbers and realize that listen, shit, this don't make sense. This lady wanna call the Minister of Health is boasting that it's only 19% of the 19% of Jamaican children passing 5 subjects. This lady who went to a school, because me and her go to school together, she graduated with me. I just want to put that out here. Said Dana Morris Dixon and I were classmates. We graduate the same time from the same school. And Campion College is 99.5% of us graduate with 5 subjects or more. And sometimes 100% because when I graduate is 100% how we graduate with 5 subjects or more. And she have the audacity now coming out of Campion to tell you that 19% is okay. Oh, this makes sense. Oh, it makes sense. I don't know, okay with this. Labor rights, the labor rights that are watching this. You know, all right with this? So these people have basically convinced you that this is a good thing and you are okay with this. 81% owner is a set of flipping idiots. Imagine in 2025 we have a literacy rate of 65%. You know how much work the PNP under Michael Manley put in to eliminate illiteracy? We create Jamal. We make sure to make school free from primary to tertiary. And get it done when Michael Manley, God rest his soul, leave literacy was almost 90%. When PNP leave it, it was 88%, and then drop it by 20% and feel good about that. In 9 years, you drop the literacy rate by 23% in 9 years, and you feel good about that. 9 years. You know, sister, the people that are trying to make you foolish. You can't think. Imagine 35% of our population now are functionally illiterate, and you are okay with this, and every day you come on the platform, shower, vote JLP, third term, 1 p.m., all of this. You're all right with this? You have a regression in your society. You're becoming a society of morons and idiots.
He needs some milk.
Are you alright with this? I want to feel good in yourself knowing that every set of picnic where I come out of school dancer and dancer, fully dance. Oh, it makes sense. And every day I want to get, imagine, look at an old mass meeting, on import this one only for picnic and the picnic them get asked a simple question. Why do you support Andrew Honest? And them stand up there looking like two flipping idiots. I don't know, alright with this. So I don't even know why I want to support the person who want to support. May I talk to the labor right there, because this blows my mind. It literally blows my mind that you're not alright with this. I'm not even going to talk about the healthcare today, no. I'm not talk about the healthcare because when we realize with them people here, if it's not happening to them directly, they don't care. They don't have empathy. They don't have compassion. So even though people there at KPH getting resuscitated on the floor, them don't care. I had a conversation with a labor right about it the other day, and the person said, yes, it's true, I'm talking because them see it with them own two eyes. It's only when they see it with their own two eyes they believe it. And he said to me, boy, they're not going good with the healthcare still, but you know it got labor right. If it don't happen to you and if you're not seeing it, you won't believe it, even if people coming out and saying to you, say, listen, this can't work. Not until it reach them doorstep. Just like Maga and the Guadalupe River who wash away the whole lot of them and then lose the whole of them, pick them. Is that it going to take for one to realize there's something not right? I literally cannot understand it. It literally blows my mind how people can be so stupid. Imagine you as a civil servant voting for JLP when JLP giving you a 0. Listen to me. Healthcare is not just deplorable. Healthcare is non-existent. The first time in history, the U.S. State Department has issued a warning telling its citizens don't come to Jamaica because there is no healthcare in Jamaica. And this makes sense. They're voting to turn the color. It's like them don't even see. It's like them, me don't know. We can't understand it. And then they want me to believe, say, this was happening when in the 90s and in the 2000s when PNP was government. They want me believe that and me actually live through it. Most of them when you sit up on these platforms never live through it, you know. But me who live through it, with my asthmatic son, the same big one we called on my phone a while ago, is 25 years old now, who every minute me live at with hospital, you will know, everybody up here, you will know with name. Because every minute him have asthma attack. Them know me, I live through it. I experienced the healthcare system and how successful it was in the early 2000s. I worked in healthcare. I was a public sector worker in healthcare. So how would I go and argue with somebody like me? But telling us, listen to me, no, little kids. Every day you come on here and talk about one bro G and this and that and don't know shit. Talk about the 90s when I never lived through it. I lived through the 90s. Me know so we never miserable so. And we were never convinced that things were good when we were suffering. That's why Labour right don't like me. Because I know the truth. And I open the eyes of too many of you. Oh, you agree? Well, I can tell you something. I don't know your age, but my son is 25 years old. And I tell this story all the time. When my 25-year-old son was 1 year old, him walk when he was 8 months old, him did quick. He was a quick little boy, him walk and talk fast. When he was 1 year old, him climb up on the grill and truck off and bust up him face. I may have to take him up in a 90 and drive fast with him down to the hospital. And when I took him to the hospital, they were able to put on a hard collar on him and rush him to CT scan immediately to check if he have anything wrong with him head. My son was born in the year 2000. As I said, this year is 25. So this would have happened in 2001 because he was 1 year old. Either late 2001 or early 2002. And at that time, they were able to take him and get him a CT scan immediately. Yet in 2025, if this had happened to him, they would have had to move him out of the hospital and take him to another location to get the CT scan, make it make sense. That our healthcare is 25 years. In 25 years later, we are behind. What can go so? In 2020, as I said, that child born with asthma, I'm having first asthma attack. Not even a month after I'm born, he started wheezing, and the doctor them tell me they can't diagnose a baby that young with asthma. And I said, Lord, I'm a physiotherapist, and I know what asthma look like, and the baby have asthma. I know how picnic chest look when them are wheeze. Because I was doing chest physio. I used to work at the hospital. We do chest physiotherapy. A lot of people don't know that in Jamaica, what them call respiratory therapists in Jamaica, we do it in Jamaica. Them send them to a private lab, everything private. So you have to take a very sick child from the hospital to a private institution. Time is life. Time is brain. Time is heart. Time is limb. Time is life. Time is life. How can you be transporting sick people out of a hospital? A hospital is supposed to have everything under one roof.
Help, we hear the rhetoric.
We need a divine intervention.
And every day on this about 1 p.m. and shower, and your leader is making the country a worse place. When my grandmother died in 2013 at UA Hospital, the morgue was right there. Now they are taking the bodies and taking them to archers.
Ball out! Whoa! We need it.
Makes sense. How is this acceptable to you if you're a well-thinking person who open a brain and think? And then you don't want to tell me say under PNP did worse? And I know that under the PNP government, people from overseas used to come to Jamaica to access healthcare because our healthcare was superior to a lot. The healthcare, we used to have a problem. Healthcare in Jamaica has always been cheap. Even when it wasn't free, it was always cheap. Remember, free healthcare came about by Bruce Gordon in 2007, you know. Because that was the election promise. But it was always cheap. So foreigners used to come to Jamaica because it was comparable to healthcare in other countries. And nobody can tell me about it because I was working in healthcare. Between the year 2000 and 2004, I worked in the public health sector. I became a drug rep afterwards, a medical representative. And I was still working because you have to go hospital. You have to interact with the doctor. Them say you still live at the hospital anyway. So nobody can tell me about this. Me live through it.
Help.
I know you want to convince me no. So healthcare is better.
All lies will be exposed. That's all.
The metrics are there. People are dying from simple things. You're not sterilizing the equipment in the hospital for surgery. The sluice room don't work. The autoclave don't work. No, that's not the only thing there. Because you cannot only agree with me about healthcare when these numbers I gave you about education was made public by your own Minister of Education. How can you be happy with 19% of kids passing 5 subjects or more? 33% of Jamaican kids graduate high school without 1 subject because the schools don't recommend them to do any subject because them can't pass them. 1/3 of your population, and you're happy with this? It's not just healthcare. This is the scary part. It's not just healthcare. It is not just healthcare. It's healthcare. It's education. It's the job market. They're all over the place boasting about unemployment. When the people from Statin, and nobody can tell me about this because, as I say to you, my father retired less than 5 years. Well, he did retire longer than that, but them keep carrying him back on contract. Right? They kept carrying him back on contract. He was the director of surveys at Statin for a very long time. And him did the labor market survey, the survey of living conditions, the population census. It's my father do all of them census there. He's one of the only demographers in Jamaica. And when him tell you all this, what they're doing now, he refused to do it. In terms of the labor market. Him say I'm not doing that because that is not international standard. And him work with international standard. The minute the man leave, all of a sudden, we have 5% unemployment. We have 3% unemployment. No. You are including people in the workforce that are not, and according to international employment definition, they are not employed. But in Jamaica, you have them as employed. Somebody cannot work 1 hour a week and you say they are employed. If you don't want to believe me, you go right ahead. Starting themselves, and it is, I'm glad to say, listen, I'll go to that young girl video, because she did post it. But you see, you can't understand. This information that I'm giving you is above what you're capable of understanding. I know for a fact that my father, Douglas Forbes, was director of surveys at Statin, and you can Google him. His name is Douglas Forbes. He was the director of surveys at Statin for at least 25 years. You can Google him. He retired about 5, he's 75 now, that is what, 75? 76? How old am I? Yeah, that is 75. Yes, that is 75. He retired technically 10 years ago at 65, but they put him on contract and bring him right back up until he was 70. And when they refused to extend this contract any further because he was one of the only demographers in Jamaica. 5 of them graduate a year and most of them migrate. He had to stay and train the person who is there now. The woman that don't know is in trainer. Because them so few and far between. And what they are doing now, he refused to do. He said statistics don't work like that. He work with international standards. He have a reputation. Them are people that know business with reputation. So if you don't want to listen to me, you don't have to. You don't have to. When me telling you say my daddy is a very, very smart man, I mean it. He is a mathematician, he is a statistician, he is a demographer, he is a pollster. So when you see, listen, numbers do not lie. So nobody can argue with me because show me the data. We work with data. We work with data in a data-driven society. You cannot manipulate the numbers. Show me how you get the data that you get. I'm telling you all the time, socialists are no fool. And as bright as my father is, if Manley never free up education, he would not have been able to attend school. And I don't want to come tell me about PNP and how PNP bad for the economy. And somebody as bright as, how damn bright a mathematician is. You know how bright you have to be a flipping mathematician? And yet he would not have had the opportunity to explore that if it wasn't for Manley, because Manley allowed him to go both secondary school and university for free. And if it wasn't for that, he would not have gotten more than a primary school education. So that's why nobody can tell me nothing about PNP. Because my father was able to go to university. I was able to go to the best schools. Because it's fast break my father sent me go. Because education changed his world. Changed his outcome. I went to vast prep. My father went to school barefooted and was able to send his child to vast prep. And then I went to Campion College. I was able to afford the best education because of Michael Manley and the PNP. And now when the PNP wants to do it again and send poor people picnic to school so them get the opportunity, JLP is throwing cold water on it. And saying that we love too much freeness, like the bossy slaves you are. Not realizing that half of you are the product of Manley's policies. 3/4 of you. That is what you don't understand. But I'm here to speak the truth. I am here to spit out the truth.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. You keep on saying that they need to read. But from day one, I've been telling you, the JLP party was started as a means to control the masses. They used Bustamante, who was functionally illiterate. He was used by the farmer, before the antecedent of JLP was called the Farmers Party. And you don't have to take my word for it, Google it. The antecedent of the JLP was called the Farmers Party. And the Farmers Party recruited Bustamante out of the PNP. Because Bustamante was originally a member of the PNP. But because he was biracial, they brought him in and convinced him that he had proximity to them. But he never have no sense. He couldn't read. As a result of that, they controlled Bustamante like a puppet. And Bustamante was able to control the masses because the masses listened to him. Remember, say Bustamante did live a Spain with one man. He was an orator. He was good at talking. He was very flamboyant. Shoot me and leave my people so the people them love him. This white man, and him a talk to we and him a defend we, because they did always obsessed with them people there. And so he was controlled by the Farmers Party, who were the descendants of the slave owners. Adopted at 21 years old by a Spanish man. That is not my business. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the fact, comrades, that this man was conned into deceiving the masses. And nobody has to take my word for it. Go and look up the Farmers Party of Jamaica and who started the Farmers Party and who started the JLP. And so the rich people are still controlling the masses through the JLP by keeping them uneducated. By keeping them uneducated. And that's a sad reality. Every day I try to wake up the brains of these young people who don't understand what is happening, that every single thing built in Jamaica was built by the PNP. Every day they come on here about shower. And they can't show me what the JLP has done for this society. Other than to divide and conquer them and treat them like sheep. They don't believe in education. And that is why they have tanked the literacy rate. Never in my lifetime have I seen literacy in Jamaica reach all the way down to 65%. Oh, that makes sense. How is our society regressing?
Hey, y'all.
Any
Embarrassing.
Jamaican.
He needs some milk.
Best for Jamaica. Accept this. And tell them about things going well in the country. What the hell is going well in this country? Tell me about crime is down for 43%. That is another thing where we need to show them since them they here. How can crime be done by 43% when it's them that carry it up there in the first place? Crime was never that high when Peter Bunting was the Minister of National Security. Numbers don't lie. I don't even want to put up the data for you to go look for it to yourself. When Peter Bunting was Minister of National Security, the crime rate was never over 1,300 per year. The lowest Peter Bunting had it during his tenure was 1,001. The first time JP get the crime rate below the 1,300 mark in 9 years was last year. So the 40% decrease in crime was created. The 40% we want to bring it down by was your creation. You don't have to listen to me. Google it your damn self. Go and look year to year on the data and how many people died.
Embarrassing.
He needs some milk. 1,001, whatever, 1,005. But that's the lowest it has ever been, Kevin. It was less than 1,010. And he was trying to get it below the $1,000. You want to know what the rate was under PJ Patterson? Not as high as what it is under the JLP. The highest it was under PJ Patterson was 1,000. I think when Peter Phillips was the Minister of National Security, 1,600. Thereabouts. The JLP carried up to 1,800 already. And the highest the crime rate has ever been in Jamaica's history was when Dwight Nelson was the Minister of National Security under the Bruce Golding administration. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to argue with you, I'm going to show you because we have it. We have it. Can I tell you all the time, as the daughter of a statistician, our numbers we work with. We work with empirical evidence and data. We are data driven. We don't listen to sweet talking politicians on the stage where telling a foolishness. Making you think that things going well when things are not. The 3-card tricks to them. So make we show you.
Hey, y'all, please remember to hit the like button. I know y'all come in sometimes and y'all forget, but the main thing, man, y'all gotta hit the like button, man, and share the live stream. Come on now. Stop playing. Support, support, support. The like button is free, heard?
And this is damn mosquito. I have one mosquito in here, you see. One so mosquito in my skin. Just try and make me find this picture. Because I know so I have it up. I use it yesterday.
That is funny, honey. That's funny.
We deal in facts, we don't deal in fiction. All right, here we go. Right now, come on. Oh, go on right here, so. Oh, there we go. See the numbers there. If when the thing says lie, I'm telling. Yeah. Why it freeze? It freeze. the instrument freeze. Lord of mercy. What go on right here, so? I so fix it. I don't know, my hand touch something. My hand touch something and the something freeze. But I did see it. It did come up a while ago. I soon here we go. We're good now? You can see the bar graph. The numbers in the middle were the 4 years under Peter Bunting. Just compare it. Compare it. It is right there. You can see it. You can see the numbers. The year 2014, that's when it was 1,000 and a little bit. But you can see that every year, the JLP has consistently had a higher crime rate than the PNP. So that 40% reduction that they're boasting about is of their own creation. Them reduce it by 40% under them own administration because at the end, yes, this was 2017. Because at the highest in history. I think under Bruce Golding, under Dwight Nelson, it was very high too. So I want you labor rights that are on my timeline on the FYP or in the comments to just examine the data. Mr. Big Sky, look at the data. Because the data is there. Education go a long way, you know, when you're able to see beyond what they tell you. Comrades, you see me telling you, say I was going to 8 o'clock, it is now 8:15. And my son coming here a while ago. Waste your time because third term loading. Alright, you're going to see. Because you see, this is the point I'm making, survival. You say survival, but you don't want to survive. You say your name survival, but you don't want to survive because you're incapable of thinking. You're incapable of reasoning. Because everything I have said is the truth. But you're rather to be led like a sheep. A brainless sheep. But we're going to call it a night, dear comrades. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the few people who were in the box tonight. Hugh Richards. I was trying to